Now we can only work with students for the duration of the time that we're authorized to work with students. And typically we're authorized to work with students if the doctor says that we can work with the student through November 15th, for example, then that's the period certain that we can work with students. We're not authorized to work with the student on the 16th, 17th, 18th, without doctor's authorization. And so it becomes very important that that you're cognizant of the fact of when the student's medical expiration date is. Sometimes we have other types of expiration dates, but we call them under the general term medical expiration date. Now, if the student's medical or psychiatric expiration date is approaching, usually about 2 or 3 weeks before that date arrives, in order to make sure that we have continuity of services for our students, then what you need to do is, if the parent feels that the student continues to qualify for Carlson services, then you need to provide to the parent either the medical referral form or the psychiatric referral form, whichever is the form that the student is currently on. So if the student is with us because of a psychiatric referral, you would give the psychiatric referral form. If the student's with us on a medical referral, you would give the medical referral form. Only if the parent feels the student needs to continue, because obviously, students shouldn't continue with Carlson, if they have the opportunity or they are able to attend a school setting where they're in session 5, 6, 7 hours a day, rather than the 1 hour with Carlson. So now, if for some reason the parent is having some difficulty getting the medical, like maybe they're having difficulty getting into an appointment in order to get the medical referral filled out, then that's when you would contact our school nurse to see if the school nurse can get a temporary extension. On non-medical referrals, the non-medical referrals would be referrals where the student is pending placement, like the district is trying to find an NPS placement for the student, and the Division of Special Ed has asked us to work with the student for a certain period of time. If the non-medical referral is coming to an end, then you would contact the administrator, alert us that this is coming to an end and whether or not you can continue to see the student. We, the administrators, will contact the special ed administrators to see what their intentions are, and we will then take care of that. If your home student is hospitalized, you need to call your rep right away and notify our school nurse about the hospitalization as well. And it's very important that you are cognizant of the medical expiration dates and the psychiatric expiration dates. And then also, regarding student absences, remember this: students are with us. We understand students are with us because they're sick, okay? And that's why the district is sending you in. And so, if the student, there are some reasons, however, why our school nurse might say to you that you can't go in to see the student. But if you get a phone call from the parent and they say that the student can't go to school because they're too ill to go to school, and that happens like 3 days in a row, then you need to contact the school nurse, and the nurse will contact the parent to find out what's going on and make sure that we're all on the same page here. Remember this: if you're working with students beyond the medical expiration date, we have no authorization to work with them, and as such you would be on voluntary status working with that student then. I encourage this not at all. All right, you should not be with the student unless we have a current medical expiration. However, if you do work with the student beyond the expiration date, then you are in volunteer status. Okay, from the IEP coordinator, The IEP coordinator, her job is to make sure that we're aware of every single IEP that's going on each and every one of our students, and the IEP coordinator might get in contact with you and let you know that the IEP is coming up. If the IEP meeting is after 3 p.m., then you are expected to attend the IEP meeting. You are expected as the teacher of record to provide present levels of performances as well as suggested goals and objectives to work with the student. You might be asked to have input on the individual transition plans. And now the one thing you need to do is that you are not authorized to go to any IEP meeting unless it is first vetted through our IEP coordinator. You will not get paid for it. You will not, you're not being authorized to go to it. And so make sure, if you know of an IEP meeting that's coming up, that you contact our IEP coordinator and let him or her know, that the IEP is coming up. Okay? Report cards. This has been a big issue. Report cards are a legal document. I've had schools call me and they've refused our report cards because they're not filled out right, they're not done right, they have cross-outs on it, they have things that shouldn't be on there. I want to be really specific here. The report cards need to come in on a timely basis, and they need to be, I am insisting that they're 100% accurate. Okay, that means 0 mistakes. And we do have a video on how to do the report cards. We always, when we send out the reminders about report cards, we always will let you know that, that here, look at the video and refresh yourself with the rules of the report card. I wanted, one thing that's really important is that the classes that you offer students, that you provide to students, are the exact same classes that's on the student CSI page that you're provided, where it says that the students in Algebra 1A and English 9B, those are the classes that should appear on the student's enrollment form. Those are the exact same classes that should be on the student's report card. I don't want any surprises. Now that being said, when you see the the CSI page, and the CSI page says Algebra 1A, but after you go in and start working with the student, you see the student's medical condition, you see the student's condition firsthand that we don't see over here. And if you think that that student cannot handle the Algebra 1A because of the rigor of that class, because of the treatment that they're going through, then by all means call our counselor over here and discuss this with her or him. And this way you can discuss if there are any other appropriate classes to put the student in. All right, and okay. All right, from testing, you are expected, regarding testing, that part of this job is that you come in and you have to do you have to pick up testing materials. You may have to pick up computers to work with the student for smarter balance type testing. You may have to come in and pick up, the older bubble-in type sheets or whatever. That's your responsibility. We will stay later if we need to. We're often at the offices till 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night even, and we will make it work for you. And you're required to complete all the trainings. Make sure that you read all the emails from the testing coordinator, because sometimes there's information in there that is pertinent to you, and it might be 2 or 3 sentences somewhere buried in that email that was sent out. It's very important that you read those. Okay, and one of the things is that the testing, it's never ever appropriate to send testing through school mail. So you must come in and you must pick up the test. And I don't let other people come in to pick up the testing materials for you, because we need your signature saying that you picked it up. Okay, instruction must still happen when testing is going on, even if you need to come in and pick up the materials. So, you know, when you come in, and what I mean by that is that when you come in to pick up the materials, that is not counted as student instruction. Remember, students get 5 hours of instruction. I'm very adamant about this. I don't want students cheated out of even 5 minutes of the instruction. They only get the five hours, and we need to make sure that all hours are provided to the students. Okay. You know, now the you know, if on this CSI page you see TBD, to be determined in the language classification, that means that when you see that, you need to contact the coordinator, the EL coordinator, and talk with the EL coordinator about that. If the CSI page says that, or the waiting for teacher list says that you need, you know, the student needs to have the CELT, that means that that student needs to have the CELT, and it needs to be timely. And if you have any questions on that, then you need to contact the coordinator immediately. And we will be sending notices out to you regarding Title I meetings, Title I, LTEL meetings, EL meetings, SSC, ELAC meetings, all these different types of emails reminding you to tell parents. We expect you to tell the parents. We need as many parents involved, and it's very difficult for us to get parents involved, and we need your support on this, so this way we can get parents to come out to our meetings. And teachers must complete the bottom section of the home language survey. It's a requirement. Okay, I want to thank you, and we will talk to you next year in section 15.